Why be a Christian? I think that's an excellent question to ask. In the world that we live in, of competing ideas, competing ideologies, competing ways to view the world, competing ways to live your life, competing philosophies, all these things. So why be a Christian? I believe the number one reason, the number one thing that has driven me and many others to become a Christian is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. There are a lot of things that we can talk about that would lead one to conclude that Christianity is the one way to view the world, the one path that will lead you to God. And when I say Christianity, I don't mean mainstream Christian, I mean New Testament biblical Christianity. But I believe the resurrection is the climax and the pinnacle. The resurrection of Jesus is the historical account of the man Jesus of Nazareth, the man who well written about in the four gospel accounts, referenced and written about in the book of Acts and in the epistles, in every single epistle. Also the one who has innumerable amounts of extra biblical references, even from some hostile sources. The account of him being crucified at the hands of Pontius Pilate is well documented. It's well known in extra biblical texts. So the resurrection of Jesus. So Jesus, his crucifixion was very public. All who were there, you see the Jewish council accepting false testimony. They were doing everything in their power to get Jesus incriminated so they could crucify him on the cross. So that event happens. His mom is there. The disciples are there. A innumerable amount of Jews are there. Gentiles are there. The Romans are there. There's a lot of people. It's a public event. And people saw Jesus die on that cross. They saw his body being taken down, and they know that he was buried. But there was a substantial thing that happened on the first day of the week when the women went to the tomb. The tomb, it was empty. The rock was removed and the tomb was empty. And it was not because somebody stole the body of Jesus, but as all four gospel accounts tell us, Jesus showed himself alive to his disciples by many infallible proofs. He even showed Thomas the nails on his hand and the piercing on his side. He even said, Thomas, touch here and believe. And Thomas touched and he believed. Paul adds in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, by the way, 1 Corinthians 15 is one of the least disputed biblical texts, even in liberal scholarship, that Jesus at one time appeared to more than 500 brethren at one time. And Paul said many of those brethren were alive. So you can go and ask them, did you see the resurrected Jesus? And you have Jesus, a man who was dead, but a man who defeated death, never died again, ascended back to heaven, and is now at God's right hand. That's why you should be a Christian.